Hello, 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 and welcome to my channel. My name is Ebi Weyime. Welcome back if you're not new, and welcome if you are new. Today's video is going to be a bit different. It's going to be a vlog and kind of giving tips kind of video. So I want to make, I've wanted for a very long time to make a video on how I save money. So I thought I'd rather, instead of just sitting down and doing it, I'd rather actually do it as part of a vlog. I am right now rushing to the Michael Joseph Center, where I'm going to be the MC, one half of the MCs for today's, my phone is ringing. Okay, I'll be back, just give me a second. And we are back. Sorry about that. Anyways, I was saying, so I'm going to be giving tips on how I save money, and also I've been invited as an MC for the, oh God, did I ever finish this intro? Yes, and I've been invited as an MC for the fashion bloggers Runway. So I am one half of the MCs who are going to be there. So I just want to leave right now, and then I'll just be giving tips as we go on with the day. The room that I'm in right now is my office. I know I've never done a video from here before. It's still under construction, like I'm still adding a few more things. Well, not very much, maybe just a desk and a chair, but I'm gonna do, maybe one day I'm gonna do like a whole tour of my home office. Anyways, let's go, and the next time I'll see you, I'll probably be in my Taxify. See you then. So I am currently in my Taxify, and I'm going to give three tips. Yes, I'm going to give 3 tips on how I save money. But before I even start, I'd like to make a small disclaimer. This is not for everyone. Like, just pick and choose whatever works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then it's still fine, okay? So tip number 1 is going to be very ironic because I'm in a Taxify now, but my tip number 1 is use public transport as much as you can. So today I'm only in a Taxify because the guys who I'm doing the gig for are going to pay for this ride. But usually I would be taking matatus, I'd be taking buses, I'll even be taking bodas, you know, though I'm not the biggest fan of bodas, but I do take them once in a while. But yeah, use public transport as much as you can. It's not the most convenient, but it is the cheapest. And if you're planning on saving money, then this is definitely a thing that you should be doing. Tip number 2 is gonna be, oh, I wrote it somewhere. Let me check it's on my phone. Tip number 2 is, oh yes, instead of buying things at your mama mbogas, and I know you want to support mama mboga, but instead of doing that or going to expensive places like Zucchini or all these other fancy places or supermarkets to go buy your vegetables, I go to the market. Like, I literally go to the market. I'm very lucky. I live close to an actual market that has market days on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So usually immediately after the gym in the morning, I'll just go straight to the market on Wednesdays, and I get everything fresh because that's when they bring all the fresh stuff. So I'll get my chicken. I actually have a guy who rears chicken, so I know my chicken is organic, I know my eggs are organic. I'll get my cereals, my fruits, mostly fruits, because I make lots of, if you follow my Instagram, you know I make lots of blended fruits and vegetables, and also I make lots of juice. So that's where I usually get the stuff from, and it's dirt cheap, you know. I usually use a lot of cash instead of like using M-Pesa. I usually use cash, and that's actually part of my next point. But the main thing is I usually go with 1,000 bob, and I know I cannot exceed it because I literally don't have any more money. So I have to make a budget and know exactly what I'm going to buy, like a grocery list, so that when I go there, I just know exactly this and this is what I'm picking, and it cannot be more than 1,000. Most of the time I don't even exceed 1,000 bob, and my grocery shopping is usually for 2 weeks, so I'm at the market twice a month. So that's also how I save money. And tip number 3, before we continue this journey, there are going to be 7 tips. So this is tip number 3, is I use my card. I use my card all the time. Like, we're very lucky right now in Kenya. So many places, like even if you watch my previous video, even at the farmers market, people accept cards. So I use my Visa card all the time. Whether I have both Visa and MasterCard, which they're just fancy names for 2 different companies, but I have both, and they work amazing because, you know, you don't get charged for for buying something, you know. And right now I'm on Taxify. Also on Taxify, you can use your card. I know with Uber you can use a card, but I had a very terrible experience with Uber once with my card, because the thing is, with Uber they charge you even before your ride starts. So this guy cancelled on me, and then I still got charged. So I wrote them an email, I told them, I explained what happened. They refused to give me back my money. Can you imagine? They refused. And after that I was just like, you know what, yeah, I'm never using Uber again. So if I'm using Uber, it's cash, and if I'm using Taxify, well, if I'm using Uber, it's very rare because I'm always on Taxify. That's if I'm using Taxify. So if I'm using Taxify, then I'm definitely using a card, because then a card would be one is this the convenience of just getting to where you're going and actually just going, you know. There's no sina pesa, there's none of that. So, and also in supermarkets I swipe my card everywhere, and it's cheap. It's cheaper than using M-Pesa. With M-Pesa I use it if there's a till number, because then with a till number it means that I'm not getting charged for it. I just find it a bit of a hassle to like go and input the number, and maybe you put in the wrong till number, and so instead of all that I just use my card. So those are my top 3 right now, and then the next tips I'm gonna be giving as we go, as we continue with the day. See you soon. And welcome back. So we are now at the venue. It is almost beginning. I've already gotten my makeup done. There's a bit of accessories that I still need to go and get, but I want to give 2 more tips before I actually go for the event. So tip number 4 on how to save money is obviously use the Grace Cup. Come on guys, this is the Grace Cup channel. Did you think I'm gonna make a whole series and not talk about menstrual cups? I mean, they save you money, definitely save you money. This is one cup that you're gonna use for the next 10 years during your period. So no more pads, no more tampons. If you want more on those, of course, you know my previous videos, you can see how to use the cup and all of that. And if you want to order the cup, the number is in my description box. And then tip number 5 on how I save money is, this is like, I'm sure you've heard this enough times, but I budget. Yes, I know it sounds boring, but I budget. Like, I know exactly what I'm going to spend and how much I'm going to spend on that item. So it is very important. I know when I was in high school, I used to hate when my mom is like, I'd be like, I need pocket money. Then I'm like, okay, how much? Then I'll say 2,000. They're like, where's the budget? So I used to hate doing that, but I'm glad that I did, because right now it's really helping me with my finances. It is very, very important to budget. We're gonna dig deeper into that later, but for now, yes, budgeting. So I will see you later on with the last 2 tips on how I budget. See you then. Hi, so I am back home. It is midnight. So the final 2 tips that I was talking about, tip number, it's on my phone. So tip number 6 is, I don't eat out that much. Before I used to eat out a lot, but right now I only eat out once or twice a month, and it's actually budgeted. Like, I know how much I'm going to eat, how much I'm going to spend if I'm going to eat out. And then another tip that could be riding on this one, you know those stickers that they have that you put on your fridge, you know, like dial a delivery or eat out or Uber Eats or whatever, and then like you always stick on your fridge so that you can actually just call to make a delivery, to order in. Throw those things out. Those are the things, like, you see it and then you get home a time like this and you're like, I'll just order in. it sucks a lot of your money. So if you have those, throw them out, because you see it and your brain immediately thinks, oh, I don't want to cook. I could just order and I'll have something in 30 minutes. So I don't eat out. And if I do, it's only like once or twice a month, and it's already budgeted for. So I already know that I'm going to be spending this amount of money on that. Also, another thing with that is I also don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. Like, for me, when it comes to partying, it has to be something very specific, you know, like it's a friend's birthday, or it's a going away party, or it's a wedding after party, you know, like there has to be some meaning to it. I'm not just going to party because it's a Saturday, you know. So there has to be meaning behind my partying. Actually, the last time I went out partying was when my friend was visiting me from the US. So of course I had to show him around and what we have, and yeah, that's the only time that's actually the last time I partied, and he was here in June. So June was the last time, and now we're in October, almost November. So I don't, and that's how I save my money. The final one, which is I think my most important, is learn to say no. Don't fall to pressure. Like, don't let pressure break you down. You know, like we live in a world where your friends are like, oh, we're going out, come join us, or we're going for dinner, come join us, which is great. But then if you really don't have the budget for it, or if you had not planned for it, you must say no. And there's nothing wrong with saying no. I mean, I said no so many times that my friends just know, like, if it's not in Abby's budget, she's not going to do it. So they have to tell me things in advance. Like right now we're planning on a trip to the coast, and my friends have told me in advance because they know Abby has to budget for this. Otherwise, you can't just call me up and be like, let's go to the coast. You know, like, unless you're paying for it. And even if you're paying for it, do I have the time to do it? You know, so do not fall for pressure. I see so many people falling for pressure. Like, random example, like there was a time we were coming out from a meeting with some of my friends, well, business people, and they all don't have cars. I also don't have a car, and everyone was like getting Taxifys and Ubers to everywhere, and they're like, you're not ordering for a cab? I'm like, no, I'm going to the stage, I'm going to get a matatu. You know, you just say it, I'm going to get a matatu. Like, there's nothing, I keep saying there's nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong. Don't feel the pressure. Don't feel, I mean, I understand, because also in my 20s, I'm 31 right now, but in my 20s, it was more, oh, I want to do it because my friends are doing it. But right now, I guess I'm just too grown to be following people because that's what people are doing, you know. I mean, if it's within my budget, and if I'd planned on getting a cab home, yes, sure. If I'd planned on going out to eat and my friends are calling me out for lunch or for dinner, yes, sure, let's do it. Oh, and then another great tip that I learned from, it was actually a YouTube comment that I saw someone posting. They said sometimes instead of saying no to every say dinners that you're being invited to, instead of going out with friends to dinner, they can say, let's go out for dessert. You see, so you'll be spending less, because dessert usually doesn't cost a lot. So instead of doing like a whole 3-course or a 2-course meal, you can just go out and have dessert. That's one way of looking at it. I mean, I've never tried it, but it could be something that I'd try. Anyways, I've been talking for too long. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You've been lovely. And please, if you have not subscribed already, please do, because I usually make videos every Mondays and Thursdays. Those are the official videos, but I usually have like other random videos in the middle of the week. So please subscribe so that you get notified when those go up. And I will see you next week. Right now, I need to sleep. So good night. Bye. So it's about the cup, it's a menstrual cup, basically. That's what I'm saying. So I usually do videos about the cup itself and about periods in general, menstrual hygiene. But now I'm trying to incorporate a few, because my videos are usually like at home, like sit at home. But now I'm trying to like
venture out. Spread your wings.
Kind of.
Alright.
Okay.
Is it a good camera? Like, would you want to upgrade?
This is a good camera. Like me, upgrade.
How much?
Like everybody, I got it as a gift. When I went to Berlin, a friend of mine just went to the camera shop and was like, pick a camera. And I didn't even know what I wanted, so the first
your
one was
quality,
there, the one
my
that
friend.
connected.
Do you know how much it was?
I think about 60K. I'm not sure. Yeah. Because if someone is buying it for you, you don't have to be like,
Yeah.
you need how much?